Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another watch me work, of course, and today's look is probably one of my favorite. It's this teal and aqua. Well, you're seeing it. It's 3D flowers, very monochromatic, matching but different. I just love it. I think it's just so beautiful and matte. I love it. So this was her previous set. If you have not watched a video on it, go watch. And this is that previous set after 3 weeks of wear. Every stone and bead is intact, as you can see. I still look very beautiful. I love this set too. Made it look so tan. So we're going to start off with taking her previous set off. Well, not the whole set, removing the previous design only. So we have to take the crystals off, and which is always a challenge. I actually have started with my little remover tool. You know, I use like those garden type nippers because that's what it takes. I don't like to use regular nippers to take off crystals because they're too sharp, and if you slip, that's gonna be it for you and your client. She's gonna be mad at you and you're gonna be like bloody and she's gonna be hurt. So I use those because they're more dull, but I always protect my client's skin by putting my finger over their live skin, like where their eponychium is. So if there is a slip, it doesn't like, you know, hurt them or anything. But anyways, so as you can see, I'm removing the gel polish from the previous set, and I'm using the Poochie's Nails extra coarse bit. And in this set, we're going to be removing 2 nails. I only show one, which is this one I'm on, this pinky. And as you can see, this pinky is very twisted. I'm trying to show you a little picture. So it's literally twisting in the direction of those arrows. So not even like forward, like bending down, but it's twisting like from the right side of the nail over to the left, like a spiral. So we've been dealing with it, and it's happened. We've removed this one before for that reason. But after it grows out, after a certain amount of time, it just becomes too much. And the product looks weird. It becomes too skinny. And it's just in an awkward position to kind of replace product. It's just better. It's just easier to take it off. So I filed it all the way down and removed product for the most part because we're sculpting it out. So it doesn't need to be 100% removed. So as always, I'm going in with my skiver bit from Atwood Industries. I wish I had something new and exciting and different for this step, but it obviously works. Maybe I'll get a cool new product one day, I don't know. But we always hold this parallel or as flush to the natural nail as possible as to not cause any rings of fire. This is very, very sped up because I wanted to leave more time for the design. So you just do not want to use this bit very fast, neither this nor this round bit. Probably about between 3,000 to 6,000 RPMs. But always try it on yourself and see how it feels, what you think is best. And this bit is just to remove all the dead skin around the cuticle area. So I'm going in with the rubber base from the Gel Bottle Ink. And this is going to be the base for our sculpted out nails because I'm going to be using a poly gel that I'm trying out. Normally I use Madam Glam, so if you're looking for a good polygel brand, go with that for now. Use code TABITHA for 30% off. And I'm going to be sculpting out these nails, like I said. There's 2 that I removed, and I'm using this nail mate form. And my mom's hyponychium, which is the skin up under the nail, has grown out a lot because she doesn't remove her nails often. So I have to cut the form, as you can see, so there's more of a space for that skin underneath, because if nothing else, it's uncomfortable for the form to press up on that skin because it is kind of thin. You probably experienced it before. That skin that grows underneath, it can be painful if you like press it or stab it or try to push it back. So I'm using the polygel, of course, as you can see, to sculpt out this nail. I'm just compare it to the nail next to it to make sure I get the length right. And I'm just, you always want to make sure you connect the side of the nails like up to the sidewall when you're sculpting to make sure you have a nice solid foundation. So I do the extension and then I put in the light for about 5 seconds and then I pinch it, as you can see, and I hold it because it's a little warm and it's starting to cure. And this is actually sped up too, so I'm actually holding it longer than what it seems. So then I have her put it back in the light to finish curing. And whatever the cure time for your product is, it depends on what you're using. And then I'm going in and forming out the rest of the nail towards the cuticle area and then bringing that product down and just blending it in. I actually didn't really care for how this product worked. So, I mean, it made a nail and that's fine. But it was way stickier than the Madam Glam. The Madam Glam polygel is very, very easy to work with. But yeah, this kept on sticking to my brush, and I was using alcohol. I tried to use acetone, and it wasn't the worst, but it was just different from the Madam. I just like the Madam Glam one. I'm just used to it. So I sculpted out both of those nails. I just wanted to show that one. And now I'm going in with my fill, with my acrylic. I just wanted to try out that product. That's the reason why I'm using polygel on those two and acrylic on these, just because I want to try out that particular product. And also, polygel is a good product to sculpt out with. Just the product in general. Different brands perform differently, but in theory, it's good because it doesn't dry like acrylic, but it doesn't run like gel. So if you can find you a good polygel, it's great. So I'm just showing you a close-up of that little fill I did with the acrylic. It was real simple, real fast, much faster than sculpting. So I have shaped the nails. You know, I generally do that off camera. It's hard to record. And then I'm going in with this smooth top bit. This is a fine grit from Poochie's. And I am filling the nails. I always feel if there's lumps and bumps. And then I go in and I file, I fill it, and you can see it. I just rub the nail because I want to make sure it's as smooth as possible. And that's what I'm constantly doing. Like, I'm just always swiping it. And that's going to tell you, like, where it's thick at. And it's just a way for me to get very nice looking nails, just bare, just a great foundation for whatever's going to happen next. So I go in with my crosscut bit. You know what that's for. It's for me to get flush around the cuticle area, but also do double duty and buff the nail so I don't have to go in with a hand buffer. So it adds that texture so our top coat or our gel polish can grip onto that enhancement very well. So I'm just doing this, and I just love this bit. Like, you could prep the nail with this bit. It's just an amazing bit. Definitely check it out. Erica's ATA sells it too. Sells one too. It is a diamond bit, but it has cuts in it, like little cuts, so that the heat doesn't build up. So this is our set after it's been filed and buffed and everything, and it's just ready to go for that polish. We can just top coat that and go on about our day, but it can't be that simple. So I'm using Tiffany from the gel bottle ink, and then I'm using Pacifica from Madam Glam. This is one of my favorite colors. We actually used this on her set 2 videos ago, that marble. Of course, watch that if you haven't seen it. But I genuinely love Madam Glam products so much. I mean, never mind me having a, discount code for them. But specifically that color, there's a lot of all their colors that I've tried, basically. They polish so nice. And even, like, my mom could tell the difference. The gel bottle ink is absolutely great. But it's just the amount of pigment you get with the Madam Glam colors with one coat. You see that one little swipe? And it's just so pigmented and just so creamy. But you don't have to worry if you polish very thin, if you polish how you're supposed to. You don't have to worry about making the nails thick or bulky or rounding out your corners because they are so pigmented. And I can't say enough good things except use code Tabitha when you check out for 30% off. I also have a link in the description bar. So this is just polishing. A lot of people like to see the polishing. I'm sorry, sometimes it goes out of focus. I don't have a fancy camera. This is just a little iPhone situation we got going. So yeah. So I spent a lot of time, I didn't want to show it on camera, but trying to get like basically identical matches for the gel colors and acrylic for our 3D flowers. So these are the two colors that I picked. It's Vanessa from Glam and Glitz, and then from Valentino Beauty Pier, it's 113. And then I'm also going to be using the Velvet Matte from Daily Charm, their No Wipe Matte Top Coat. It's been working pretty good lately. So as always, or in general, you want to top coat your nail before you do your 3D work, no matter if it's shiny or matte. So I'm going in and I'm top coating with our matte top coat first, and then going to be curing that in the light. And because the flowers just do not look the same when they're top coated, clear or matte, so just go on and get that out the way. So I'm going in with a bead, and when you're doing your 3D flowers, you don't want to work with the beads wet. So you want to wait till that bead gets that matte kind of look on it. And then once it gets that look, then you want to start working with it, because then it's going to start drying up a little bit, and it's going to have that more like clay texture that you can press out and mold. Now you don't want to wait too long, because it's going to be too hard. So you got to kind of find that happy medium. And I can't give you a specific time because each brand is going to dry differently, because this Glam and Glitz took way longer to get to that matte looking state than the Valentino did. So there's no specific time I can tell you. It's just a look that you're going for and a consistency. And if you touch it and you feel like, oh, this is moving way too much, it's like bleeding out, then let it dry a little more. If you mess up on something, you can always scrape it off, like take your brush and kind of lift it up before it gets too dry. So always keep that in mind, that, you know, this is something that you can fix as long as you don't let it get, you know, out of hand and go too far. So with the flowers, it's something that I think personally needs to like be shown visually how to do it. Each flower is different with technique. I don't know what all the flowers are called, but like doing, you know, roses are, you know, going to be different from like doing daisy type flowers. The petals are different. With the roses like this, you want to get a little more texture in like the petals. So it's not just like a shape of the petals, but it's the actual like pressing the brush into the product and leaving it kind of very natural and organic, and just using the different areas of your brush to your advantage, using that texture to your advantage. Now the brush that I'm using, it's an old brush. I don't even know where it's from, but Alpha Brush has some decent brushes. They're very affordable. And so I have a link to them below, but that is not the brush that I'm using. I don't know where it came from. So I just wanted to show you guys again. This is the same design. I'm trying to match them up. They were never going to be identical. I had to make sure my mom was prepared for that. And this is another, they're going to be sisters and not twins. But I wanted to make sure it was as similar as possible so you can know that these, you know, both hands were pretty much supposed to be the same. Because I think that's just a very cool look. Like it's the same design on both hands. It's just a different color. And the fact that it is very monochromatic, it's just matchy, but the hands are different. I just think the concept itself is cool. And it's something we came up with. And it worked, and I go out with her and people are just really impressed. At first you can't really see the 3D, and then they're like, what is that on your nails? And they see that the flowers are on there and they're just concerned about how it happened, and just interested, I guess would be the better word. And it's just unique. So you again can see how I'm forming these flowers. I wish there's like some secret I could tell you, but it's just about looking at pictures. And I don't know if it works for everybody, honestly, but you just want to do your research and see the different types of flowers. And I always say, if you're doing something natural, whether it's marble, snake skin, giraffe skin, I don't know what you're doing, if it's of this world, look it up, get a picture, and see what makes that thing that you're trying to mimic look like what it does. So get a picture of a real rose or a real lily or a real daffodil, whatever flower name there is, and see how it looks naturally, and then try to mimic it. You can also look at another person's nail art, but getting that information of knowing how it looks naturally in this world, and that's what you're trying to mimic, is even better. Now, there is also like a preference thing. Like my mom she's very particular about how she wanted these flowers. She didn't want the base flowers, as you can see, like the base petals, that I'm putting down first. She didn't want those to be very, very flush with the nail. Sometimes you can get them very, very flush and like flat to the nail. She wanted the outside petals, the initial ones, to have texture off the nail a little bit. So that was specifically something she wanted. Next client might, want a very like pressed down. My mom calls it smashed. I don't think it's smashed, but whatever. A more flush type flower. She wanted a little more lift to it. So that's what we did. And I actually really like how it came out. I think it looks really cool. And especially since it's so monochromatic, like the colors are so matchy-matchy, having that extra texture really helps the flowers to stand out. So I went in and finished all the petals, made the hands match as good as possible. So for the stones, I'm using blue zircon, and then I'm going to be using, I believe the color is aqua. I just have a little mix, and I found the best matching stones to each hand. And I believe I'm using size 12 and 7, I believe, and they're Swarovski per the usual. So I'm using a gel glue, and I'm sinking the stones into that gel glue. You don't want it on top, but you want them to definitely be pressed in where that gel is kind of hugging the edges of the stone, like a prong setting of a diamond would be in a ring. That's kind of how you want that gel glue to go. Before you cure it, you want to make sure that gel is flush. You want to fade it into the nail, because you don't want that line that we see. You don't want to see where that gel went. So fade it out and then cure it. And I'm sure you've seen people who have not faded that out, and you can just tell where all the little gel glue is. Now I'm trying out some gel glue, but in the meantime, you can use so many different kinds. Ugly Duckling has Stick It, Jenny's Secret I used to use, Nailed by John Herpes gel. But if you're going to be using a crystal glue, the concept is the same. You want to make sure you have it kind of buried into that glue, but you don't want it on top of the crystal. So I'm using the Joya Mia top coat to seal in the stones, and I'm doing the same. I'm going in with a little brush. I'm going around the stone, not on top, and fading it out before I cure it. And you can see how I'm going around the stone. You see I'm getting on the very, very edge of that crystal, not on top so it still sparkles, but on the edge, the lip of it, setting it in there. That's what you want. That's going to hold it in. That's going to give you your weeks of wear. Don't say I never shared nothing with you. That's what you're looking for. That's the trade secret. So before I cure, I fade it out again, because we're going to make this matte. So now I'm going with my matte top coat and getting as close as possible to the stones, but I'm not going to be going around the lip of the stone like I did with the clear, because the clear is shiny. So you can still see the stone through it. Even though you don't want to go on top, you can still see the stone. It doesn't take away from the stone by having that clear on the lip. Having that matte on the stone, you're going to be able to tell 100% because it looks like frosted glass. So it stands out to have that matte top coat actually on the stone, even if it's the edge. So we want to use that fine brush to get right up next to it, but not on it. And that's why we use the clear to make sure we sealed in between the stones so hair doesn't catch. But we're using, the matte because that's the look we're going for. So I really love this technique, and it just lasts because you got your crystal glue, you have them sealed in with clear, and now they're matte, they're on there. But we haven't taken away from the shine. So this is our final look. Give me like 1,000,000 thumbs up because I know you like this look, how much I love this look, because it's undeniably like so cute. It's my fave. So comment below. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. Ask any questions. Don't forget to look in the description bar for links or any additional information. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.